Hi there, and welcome to Real Talk in ELT, a podcast about the reality of teaching English. I'm your host, Kelly Pennington. Thank you for joining me today. Hello again. We are back. So today I'm going to be looking at this here, mentor roles. Recently, I posted a couple story things on Instagram, really, about mentorship because I do offer mentorship, and the first question was, what does that look like? Because people don't really know, and I think everybody offers or everybody has a different perspective on mentorship and what the role is of the mentor and what people will benefit out of it. So this is what I provide for my mentees, or I do my best. And other people might provide different type of mentorship styles. So this is from my perspective. I found this graphic and I thought it was kind of in line with my perspective of mentorship. So we'll start at the top. For those of you who are just listening, there's mentor roles in the middle, and then it's this beautiful little colorful rainbow of circles that surround it. And we'll go through each of the circles. So starting at the top as a coach, advisor, or guide. I don't like the word coach, but I mean, because it's turned into this kind of negative, bad word in the industry because people don't see coaches necessarily nowadays as people who have some sort of credential or authority in a specific area. I think that's unfortunate. It was a trend that kind of came out of people becoming life coaches and things like that, which I don't think is necessarily a bad profession, but if you actually know what you're doing. So yes, I prefer kind of like a guide. I guess that's more of my word of choice there. But yes, we kind of guide you through a process of what you should be doing and help you out and support you along the way. The next one, listener, supporter, and confidant. Many of my mentees, they go through some we all go through bad stuff. We all go through things, professionally, and they're challenging, and we have difficult relationships and issues that happen and events, et cetera, et cetera. And so a mentor is there to listen and to understand and sometimes relate and give you some good advice on what to do, or at least let you know that you're not alone and that it has happened to either the mentor or a colleague. This one I love. The next one is a resource person. So I am an information gatherer. Anybody who knows me, I mean, my students and my mentees can attest to this. Literally, I will find, actually, anybody I've done a CPD program with too, I will find any and all resources. So I love research. I'm a big resource person. I'd like to have information. So I think that's one of the main things that I like to contribute with my mentorships is giving people enough resources that hopefully that they don't feel overwhelmed, but know that they have many things to look at and they're able to come to their own conclusions, because I never want to be let's say indoctrinating my mentees in anything. I just want to give you the possibilities and to each his own, obviously based in some good scientific research and theory and all of that. I mean, not just, creating willy-nilly. A champion and a cheerleader, absolutely. I always have thought to myself, if my mentees are more successful than me, that will make me the happiest person in the world, because that means I'm actually doing my job. So if my mentees become super successful teachers and eventually teacher trainers or researchers, materials writer, that will make me so happy, because that means I'm actually good at doing my job and I'm doing my job right. So I will always champion for my mentees. Strategist, I try. I do my best. Obviously, one person doesn't know everything about the ELT industry, and as we learn and grow and network, we learn more things. But I'm definitely there to be a person to help develop a strategy of based on my experience and based on colleague stories, what would be a good move, and to also try to remove some of that tunnel vision, because sometimes we get very focused on an objective. And so seeing things from a different perspective, or being a devil's advocate, just to make sure that you're headed in the right direction. A role model, I guess if that's how people see me, that's great. I don't really necessarily consider myself a role model. I think I model behaviors that I find to be valuable, um, honesty and trustworthiness, and just kindness. I try to do the best that I can. So hopefully that's a little bit contagious in that sense of the idea. A sounding board, absolutely. um for all and everything. I like to hear your ideas. I don't think any idea is a bad idea, and I don't think I never discount anything. I'm always open, and I want to hear why you choose to do something, whether it be in your lessons or career development, or why you're focused on one thing or another, and be that sounding board, so you can, throw your ideas onto me. I'm very non-judgmental. I don't really, I obviously I don't know everything. So seeing things from different perspectives is enlightening, and so I do like to do to help people in that way. And lifestyle or image makeovers. Now, I think that this is kind of like a little bit general, or for people that are not an ELT. However, um, the one thing that I can relate to lifestyle and image makeovers is that teachers are a funny group of people, especially teachers who have always been teachers. And that's not to say anything negative, but teachers who have always been teachers don't necessarily market themselves, or position themselves in the market when they become independent teachers, private teachers, consultants, things like that. Um, Not that I have vast amount of knowledge in the business world, and I might not be the authority in teacherpreneurship and things like that, but I do come from a business background, and I do try to structure my clients and my programs in a way that is helpful for everyone. So I think that I don't necessarily do a lifestyle or image makeover, but I do try to bring teachers to the dark side of of teaching. Bring you to the dark side. Come with me, because it is a business. And so, having oh, sorry, neighbor's dog. Yeah, podcasting at home, this is what it is. Having people, sorry, the dog was a little out of control. I didn't want the quality to be that bad, a couple barks here and there. But um so yes, I think that, not that I'm in it to make over somebody's lifestyle or image, but I think that having a professional presence, and especially offering as much value as possible to your future clients from a business perspective, maybe not, obviously as a teacher, but maybe not necessarily from the teaching perspective, because teachers are always just so kind and they want to help, but maybe from the business perspective, adding a little bit more value to your services. So that's what I try to help with as well. That being said, that is it. So in terms of being a mentor, these are kind of the things that I look at and I try to help my mentees with. Usually what I do in terms of the mentorship program that I run is I have either small groups, or I have individuals, and the individuals, we meet every other week, because I want to give people enough time to digest, and especially because I'm a resource person, I try to give them as many resources so they can get as much input as possible, not just from my perspective, but from varied perspectives. So every other week we meet, we have a 1 hour session together. We talk about things that are going on in their professional lives, in their personal lives, that obviously, because that influences their business, and we try to get them going in the right direction. And I am available for as long as my mentees need me for. And if they don't need me anymore, then I'm so happy, because I've done my job. So that's my perspective on mentorship, and that's how I run my mentorship program. I know that there's many other ways to do it, but that's my perspective, and that's how I do things. So feel free to contact me if you're interested. If not, or not a problem, I wish you the utmost success. And if I can be a part of that success, I would be honored, and it would be a pleasure to work with you. So that is it for this session. It's a little bit of a personal plug. I'm so sorry if this sounds very commercial. It was not meant to be, but there was many people that were asking me about how I go about mentorship and what they can expect. And it's hard to say because every session that I have with my mentees is so different. Sometimes we focus very minutely on some details like lesson planning, and sometimes we look at bigger picture things like positioning themselves in the market and finding a niche and strategizing about things like that. Sometimes we talk about methodologies, and sometimes we talk about pros and cons of things, or it varies so much because every individual is so they're an individual. So anyways, that's my perspective. Sorry if this sounded very commercial. It wasn't the intention. I just wanted to show you my perspective of mentorship and how I believe the mentor should help their mentees. And with that being said, hopefully you'll tune in to other episodes of Real Talk and ELT. We've got lots of good stuff coming up in the next semester. I've put together quite a list of people to chat with and tons of resources. So feel free to comment below or send me a message if there's anything that right now I'm not talking about and you would like me to. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great day. Ready to join the conversation? Head on over to Instagram at Real Talk and ELT Pod or at Kelly Pennington ELT and send me a message. That's it for me. Take care of yourself, your health, your vibe, and your tribe. Until next time.